when we get started, we have that first 5 minutes where we do our gentle mobility work using the dowels, getting those ankles moving, working on those hips, and then working on our pretzels. Obviously, that's just a way to really ease into a gentle way to kind of get started. It also gives us a little bit of a buffer. Anybody who might be running behind, whether there's a train or anything else gets in the way. So it gives us a few minutes for people to also get in and get ready before we start with what we like to refer to as our ramping. That's a term I got from Alan Cosgrove. So we think of this as range of motion, activation, muscle or movement preparation. So essentially just means building up and getting some things working well for us, getting some muscles activated, and working on some core exercises or building a little bit of that stability in those joints to give us what we need to get ready for and be prepared for the strength training portion of the workout. So let's do a transition here and bring up some of these exercises here. So we're going to go to the first one here. Let's transition. So, we'll start with that'll be the first thing listed on your sheet is going to be those hangs. So we are working on, obviously, whether it's workout A, which we're talking about right now, or workout B, we're going to have some hangs in there. Great for shoulder mobility, decompresses the spine, works that grip strength. We do 2 sets for 30 seconds. Some people suggest 12 minutes a day, so I think you're getting off easy. Maybe we'll consider taking it up in the future. So we're going to do 30 seconds of those hangs, and then we're going to pair that up with our box step downs here. So in this first one, you can see Coach Matt here on the box. He's starting with the short box, keeping that toe pulled up toward his knee. He's letting that knee move out over those toes, and then that on the other foot, that toe is pulled up as he's thinking about taking his heel down toward the floor. Now, what you notice on this as well is that Matt's range of motion is really good. So when you notice that, or when you see that he's on the short box, his leg's going out a little bit further because he can get a little bit deeper, which is great. So when you can get a little bit deeper, you don't need that short box. You want to step up to a tall box. Now, the goal is not necessarily to get, or it's not that you have to get your heel down toward the floor, but going to a taller box might help you get a little bit deeper range of motion than you'll get on that short box. Again, it doesn't mean you have to touch the floor. It also means you can touch that foot to the box whenever you need to. But the goal is to really do that work on that single leg to get those stability muscles working, activating some of those muscles to strengthen the joint, the muscles around, strengthen the muscles around that knee joint and make everything stronger, and also get those muscles activated for some of the exercises that we're going to have coming up after this. This exercise is also very similar to like our cyclist lunges. It looks a little bit different, but if you watch the leg that's working, you see how we're working on that knee tracking out over the toes as opposed to leaning too much into it and trying to sit our hips back here. Great way to work a lot of those muscles and also get some stretches through the ankle and the calf muscles to really open up all those joints. So from there, we got those two paired up, the hangs and the box step downs. The second pairing, we have a couple new exercises or new variations of exercises as well. So in that second pairing, transition over here, we see this is our split stance thoracic rotation. So I'm hugging that bag to my chest, not just holding it tight, but also pulling down, like I'm trying to tear that bag apart. And I start with a step back into my split stance. What you'll notice here as well, or once you take notice of, is that I'm not sitting into this like a lunge. I'm simply reaching as far back as I can as I have that hip hinge before I start to change my level. And now I'm rotating into that front leg. And as we were working with this, working on this one with the coaches last weekend, what we noticed is a cue that seemed to work for a lot of people was thinking about taking your elbow to that opposite knee as you're rotating. So it's not twisting through the spine. It's about taking that opposite elbow and rotating like you're turning your chest toward the wall, right? So taking your time. Now you also notice that I noticed quickly here, if you might see at the beginning of this movement, the first rep, as I'm opening back up, you start to lose that balance a little bit. That split stance is a little less stable than if both feet are together. It also helps us keep from over-rotating through the lower back, but it does challenge our stability there as well. So you want to take your time with those reps and make sure that you're focused on the quality of the rep. It's not about getting a bunch of reps on this one. The second exercise is a variation of our sandbag plank pull through. So we're calling this our cross drag, and what I'm going to do is, you notice there I'm reaching with the opposite hand, I'm bringing it up over my shoulder, then pulling the bag down toward my feet. Then I go over to the other side, so I pull it across, I pull it down, now I'm reaching with that opposite hand to pull it across my body, and now I'm going to pull it down toward my hip. So we're kind of making an X with it, but we're really making more of like an infinity sign, if you will, as we're working through it. Again, focus on your plank first. You can always just go to holding that plank if you need to, and then take your time with the rotations. Of course, with the pull-throughs, as we're working this one, if you want to just stick with the straight pull-through that we've done before, the sandbag pull-through for that plank position that we've worked before, you can do that as well. This for some people is going to be slightly more challenging. I think it just offers a different sort of challenge. The stability is a little bit different, but we're focused on those hips staying nice and stable, pushing the ground away from you and taking your time on this, okay? So we'll go 2 sets of both of these, 2 sets of each of these these paired sets as well, and then we're going to move on.